Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and this time I'm going to compare two awesome cities. One, Helen, Georgia, and the other one, Asheville in North Carolina. Both of these are great mountain towns. Both are relatively popular, and I'm going to compare each one. Starting with number one, the overall city layout. Helen is a very small town, but it has a lot compact within, easily walkable. It's a recreated Bavarian alpine village which sits along the Chattahoochee River. With nearly all of its attractions within a few square blocks, it has many shops, restaurants, a beer garden, candy stores, and many more. Along with that, the town is designed for strolling with cobblestone-style streets and storybook-style facades. And if you were wondering, a Bavarian alpine village is basically a German recreated town. But on the other hand, Asheville is a medium-sized mountain city with a much larger, denser layout. The downtown is very vibrant, walkable as well, a lot of top attractions along with many hiking trails in the region, also Biltmore Estate, the River Art District, and many more. But many of the top attractions do require a short drive. The neighborhoods in general sprawl into the hills and valleys surrounding the town. So overall, Helen for a small town simplicity feel, Asheville for a walkable core, but with an urban mountain sprawl. Now when it comes to comparing the architecture of each, Helen is intentionally styled to look like a Bavarian village. Gingerbread trimmed buildings, half-timbered architecture, alpine detailing, and cheerful flower boxes. While it's more of a theme park than authentic, it's undeniably charming and photogenic. Asheville, on the other hand, offers a wide mix, a lot of Art Deco, Victorian, Craftsman, and grand European styles like the Biltmore Estate, which is America's largest privately owned home. The downtown area is full of unique historic buildings and modern architectural contrasts. So when it comes to the overall architecture, Helen for the whimsical themed architecture, still really cool, but Asheville for the real historic variety and architectural richness. But even though Helen is more like an outdoor theme park, the architecture's still amazing. Now the third thing I'm going to compare is the overall vibe and atmosphere. Helen feels festive, quaint, and very family friendly. Also fun with an Oktoberfest flair. Horse-drawn carriages. The town is geared towards tourists, but that's part of its charm. I'll also say, even though it's very populated on weekends, you still feel like you're pretty far out there in the mountains, because you are. Asheville, on the other hand, it has a very creative, alternative, and slightly edgy atmosphere. It's a haven for artists, musicians, nature lovers, and foodies. They also have drum circles on Fridays, which is really cool. Skate parks, a very artistic vibe in my opinion. So if you want a more lighthearted, family-oriented place, Helen is a very good choice for that. Whereas Asheville is for the soulful, artsy mountain culture type. And speaking of culture, the fourth thing I'm going to talk about is the culture scene, where Helen, the cultural appeal is tied to its themed festivals and European-style ambience. It has Oktoberfest, also Christmas markets, and alpine parades, bringing a seasonal spirit, but I will say the art scene is relatively limited beyond local crafts and souvenirs. Asheville, on the other hand, it's a cultural hub. The River Arts District hosts hundreds of working artists. Also, the music scene spans bluegrass, folk, indie, and many more. You will find so many galleries and festivals here. So Asheville for the serious cultural depth and creativity, whereas Helen for the festive, niche, seasonal charm. So a quick word from today's sponsor, which is the Olight Arc Pro flashlight. A very reliable, powerful, but pocket-sized flashlight for your travel or camping adventures. Having the right source of illumination can redefine your entire experience. At its core, Arc Pro delivers unmatched brightness, combining a staggering 10,000 lumen floodlight with a 750 meter spotlight. Whether you're lighting up an entire work site, campsite, or focusing on a distant target, This dual beam strength ensures total visibility in any environment. But versatility is another hallmark of it. 5 adaptable modes: flood, spot, flood and spot, side light, and red light. It also transitions seamlessly from wide area lighting to tactical precision. Overall, a very great option for your adventures. Back to the video. Now, when it comes to water access for both of these cities, Helen sits directly on the Chattahoochee River, and one of the top things to do here is tubing in the summertime. Extremely popular and a lot of fun. You can rent a tube and float through the town in the summer or walk along the river for scenic views. Asheville, on the other hand, is near the French Broad River. This flows past breweries and through River Arts District. Tubing, kayaking, and paddleboarding are all popular here as well, with longer, more peaceful stretches than Helen's playful tubing run. I will say, when I was here in Asheville, I didn't see too much of that for whatever reason. Maybe I was in the wrong areas. The Helen tubing, I did that when I was younger. So much fun. And the 6th thing I'm going to compare is the overall tourism and crowds. Helen can get very crowded on weekends, especially during Oktoberfest or fall foliage season. But it's still a pretty small town. The crowds are mostly day trippers and families looking for a themed getaway. Asheville, on the other hand, it gets much heavier tourism, especially in fall and spring, but the city can feel crowded during major events or weekends. And popular trailheads often fill up relatively early. So that said, Asheville has more of an infrastructure to handle crowds just because it's a lot larger. However, once you park in Helen, you're good. You can walk all over the place, no problem. Asheville, considering it's a little bit more spread out, might be a little bit trickier. The next thing I'm going to compare is the overall outdoor activities. Helen is an excellent base for North Georgia hiking and waterfall chasing. There are many popular trails around here. Anaruby Falls is literally right down the road. A very beautiful short hike leads to a very nice double waterfall or twin waterfall, whatever you want to call it. Also pretty close by, Ravencliff Falls, Yona Mountain as well, one of my favorite mountain hikes in the state, and many more. Asheville, though, is surrounded by the Pisgah National Forest and Blue Ridge Parkway, also making it a very good hiking place. I will say, though, hiking trails are a lot further away when you're in Asheville compared to Helen. Helen, there's literally hiking trails 5-10 minutes away. Asheville, you're gonna have to drive a lot further, but some of those hiking trails are fantastic. I do know one of them is Black Balsam Knob. Phenomenal hike, but a pretty decent drive. And the next thing I'm going to compare, the overall food scene in each. Helen's food scene is very heavy on German-inspired cuisine, and extremely good as well. Also, all sorts of beers, and what you'll find is a few modern cafes and steakhouses, but most restaurants lean toward touristy-friendly fare with hearty, comfort food vibes. Many of them are German as well. Asheville, on the other hand, the food scene apparently is top tier, also nationally recognized as well. But I will say, Asheville has an amazing restaurant with picture-perfect views behind the Omni Grove Inn. And yes, even though this is an inn, the restaurant is open to the public. And number 9, the neat history of each place. Helen was a struggling logging town before it was reinvented in the 1960s as a Bavarian-style destination. That reinvention is part of its quirky charm. Also, you'll find a few Native American landmarks as well, and a really cool old-time grist mill that's still operational. Asheville, on the other hand, it has a deeper history. Gilded Age at the Biltmore, early 20th century booms and busts, Appalachian traditions, long-standing art legacies, and many historic buildings. And a few honorable mentions that I don't want to miss. Helen has this amazing new castle called the Uhuberg, or Eagle Owl Castle. It's amazing. You gotta see it. Along with that, it also has the Georgia Mountain Coaster, fun little roller coaster, and Christmas time here is spectacular. Asheville, on the other hand, has a really cool pinball museum, the Urban Trail within downtown with many different statues, the Botanical Gardens, and the Grove Arcade, which is basically a really cool looking indoor mall. So overall final thoughts, choose Helen if you want a themed town, Bavarian German town, which is very, very rare to find here in America. Easy access to really good hiking trails, waterfalls, tubing, a very relaxing family-friendly place, a mountain getaway. But choose Asheville if you want a thriving arts and food scene with a very free-spirited vibe. And for those who like relatively big cities, while surrounded by the mountains. Overall, I recommend both. Both are good in their own ways. I hope this video helped you figure out where you want to go. But if you want to see more about all of that, choose this video on the left, Asheville, North Carolina. Choose this video on the right of Helen, Georgia. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a blessed day.